Do you really have to get that close to kill an owl? Was he hoping to eventually put the end of the arrow to its head before pulling the trigger? Hey, there's Laurie! And that's a fucking sin. Herschel's gone into full hobo mode. That's rather uncalled for. It's still food in the end of the day, and that stuff often has a lot of protein in it. Or would you rather starve? It's not like Rick is thinking of going and hitting up fucking KFC later on. I have never known a prison that builds watchtowers along the edge of the prison, but then uses a simple wire fence with just barbed wire along the top. It's like they've confused elements of a high security prison with elements of a low security one. Could really have done with Herschel's infinite shotgun ammo hack here. The Walking Dead loves to show the apocalypse as vehicles randomly placed on their sides, but it doesn't make a great deal of sense. If they wanted to block that gate, they could have just parked it really close to the fence, and at least then you can still use it if you have to. They also seemingly tipped it away from the fence, hence why the wheels are facing towards us, whereas tipping it towards the fence would have made a lot more sense if you wanted to permanently close it off. Oh, also, in a real prison you wouldn't have barbed wire missing from the side of the fence here.
Bethy, sing Patty Riley for me. I haven't heard that, I think, since your mother was alive.
Yeah, it will also help to launch your album and singing career. 1 minute and 40 seconds of singing and drawing walkers to your fence. I think hitting them on the helmet with a knife has just got to equal a sin. Jesus, go and have a fucking shower first. He's kissing her arm and she's got zombie blood all over it.
If I do, if there is any chance, you put me down immediately. You don't hesitate.
Wow, you want to say something like this and you'll have takers lined up around the block to kill your annoying ass. I wouldn't even hesitate if I thought there was a 1% chance that she was kind of acting like a walker.
Far enough.
Not locking the gate behind them when they rushed in Herschel a minute ago.
If he dies, you need to be there for that. You think you can do this? Maggie will be there.
In this situation, you'd want to make your group look bigger than it actually is. So even though Herschel is in a bad way, it's more important to have Glenn out the front with the rest of the guys to have a show of force. The reason for this is because ultimately it's far more important to look after the safety and security of everyone in the group rather than one person.
As far as we can see, at least half the population's been wiped out.
And how exactly did you come to that conclusion? For that to be true, they'd have to have come across as many people alive as there are dead, and we know that hasn't happened. Some may say he's lying, but he's told the truth up until now about everything, and it wouldn't make much sense to lie about that one point.
If we can get him through this.
When we get him through this.
Unrealistically fast verbal reflexes there in interrupting her and correcting her sentence. Bitch.
You look disgusting.
Whilst I 100% agree with Carol, she can't really say that since she's not covered in dirt or walker blood, she's not dripping with sweat and her hair isn't all greasy and clumped up together because it hasn't been washed in months. She actually looks pretty normal. But yeah, she's disgusting.
And that's where you aim. These things only go down with a headshot.
You ain't gotta tell us how to take out a man.
Yes, because clearly you're all murderers being kept in a low security prison.
They were good men.
Clearly. Hence why they're in prison. The fact that he's not waking up and screaming the place down because his lower leg was cut off with an axe.
That'd be the son of a bitch you'd really want to be scared.
Thank you.
She's looking at Andrea like, how could you say thank you? When technically he is right. They weren't safe, and now they're being looked after since he found them. He had a gun on them initially, but then he also didn't know exactly what they'd do to him either. The absolute smartest thing to do in this instance is just to say thank you and make sure you're safe.
They call you that?
Some nicknames stick whether you want them to or not.
Buzz is a nickname, Governor's a title.
No, Governor is a nickname too.
Not the Four Seasons, but there's a hot shower. Water's limited, so I'll keep it short. We got food, water, fresh clothes.
I really don't think you'd lay all of this out for perfect strangers. I mean, fuck me, look at the amount of blueberries there.
I saw what your patrols do on the way in last night. They had a dead one strung up like an ornament.
How does she know that that was these guys? She was in and out of consciousness with a blindfold on or something over her eyes, and furthermore was driving fast at the time. How about instead of just assuming it was them, she actually just asks, and really what the hell is the problem with it in the first place? This to me just seemed like trying to pick a fight with someone when you are in the best position in the world after having been in the worst position for almost a year. For this I'll add 5 sins, since I'm betting all of us would be more than happy to shut up and enjoy the safety rather than being a bitch over tiny things.
Name's Andrea.
What, you know her?
No.
I'll die before I'll let that happen.
Getting really sick and tired of the way she's glaring at him when all he's done is give them a safe place to spend the night. Food, water, shower, bed, medical care, and again safety, and now breakfast and tea. But she's glaring at him like he's kicking her shin under the bloody table every 15 seconds, and it's annoying as hell. Hate the guy later on when he deserves it, but not right now, as it just doesn't make sense. Adding yet another 5 sins for this, as it just simply would not happen.
Sorry I kept breakfast short, but just can't wait.
We want our weapons.
Once again, this reaction is annoying as hell.
Yeah, the other guys didn't make it, I'm sorry. But Wells, he told me I would find you here. He wants me to bring you to him.
They found Wells, they got him, they found him.
We sure did.
He's like 10 feet further away. I think he heard. Dribbling while smashing his head in.
Go put a merciful end to that young man's days.
Go put a muscle into that young man's knees. Okay.
You know how many friends' corpses we had to drag out this week? Just threw them out like... These were good guys.
I'm not going to say every single prisoner is a bad person because I know for a fact that that's not the case. But I can't keep trying to use an argument that the inmates were good people. For one, prisoners for the most part act very differently with other prisoners than they do people on the outside or guards.
They'll just be waiting for a chance to grab our weapons. You want to go back to sleeping with one eye open?
I never stopped.
Oh yes, don't elaborate on that point. Is he trying to say he secretly deep down suspects someone in the group will try to kill him, or is he just simply saying that he doesn't feel safe in the prison? Either way, the statement on its own with no explanation is worth a sin. Do you have to touch it to know it's blood? That's sin number 1. But sin number 2 is that these morons rocked up back to the camp with a false story regarding the soldiers in mind and even allowed the people to look around the vehicles. Yet they decided for one reason or another not to wash down some of the blood on the way back.
You'd think one soldier would drive away. Especially against something so slow. Lots of bullet holes. You think biters figured out how to use weapons?
Once again, this is both dumb and nonsensical. You've got her, who is suspicious of this guy who has lots of armed men at his back, but instead of just knowing he likely killed them and then telling Andrea and leaving with her as intended, she decides the best course of action is to play detective and annoyingly try and blatantly tell him that she thinks he killed them, risking both of their lives if he tries to silence them. We now return to Michonne walks around slowly scowling at people and saying dumb shit that would almost get her killed. Considering literally just 6 seconds passed during that over-the-shoulder pan, those walkers moved incredibly quickly and then slowed down again.
Can't tell if this is the arm or the leg.
Woohoo!
Where is she? Oh, no, no.
Here I'm going to go quite serious after the last sin removals, and say that this bit genuinely really hit me in the feels. I think Maggie and Rick's acting were off the charts amazing, and I truly felt for him. So here I'll remove 2 sins. Seriously? Take some sins for acting like such a douchebag, and in a way that really wouldn't happen.
I'm here. Daddy still loves you.
Walkers that become calmed when cuddled. Once again, what the hell is the point in doing this?
1 against 4, all of us armed to the teeth, and you with just your little pig sticker? No, 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 Michonne.
Really? She stayed completely silent in the trees all this time, never making a single sound up there?
We're dying here.
Mirage phone call.
She said it was safe.
It is. No attacks.
Mirage phone call number 2.
No.
All right.
Herschel's signature infinite nodding hack. This show is seriously trying to tell us that you can just hide in what is actually a pretty open view of the woods. I know it's all for fun and they're trying to paint a picture of her being a badass ninja warrior, but this is just silly. And here's Michonne just getting back from a trip to the further.
Hello?
You didn't want to tell him how your wife died?
Mirage phone call number 3. This could literally only happen in The Walking Dead. I mean, both of them have their guns trained on him, and he's not only able to get his gun from behind his back, bring it out in front of himself, but also fire a shot and in the process take her hostage. Bloody hell.
What happened, Rick?
Mirage phone call number 4. I mean, come on, I can understand a slight mental breakdown, but to imagine multiple phone calls like this is just retarded.
You an asshole out there. Just like you were on that rooftop back there in Atlanta.
Being reasonable though, Glenn didn't do shit to him on that roof, and he never had the key to unlock him either, so blaming him makes 0 sense at all.
What y'all did? Leaving me up there? People wouldn't do that to an animal.
No, sadly, some people would do that to an animal, and those people are called scum.
It's close to you. Her soft lips are touching you. Here, all over here.
He's now coming across less scary and more sensual.
Here, all over here, and over here. Feels good, don't it?
After cutting off the head of the first zombie, she randomly decides to go for a stomach stab, knowing full well it will do literally nothing in terms of slowing him down. She may as well just simply have kicked him and it'll have the exact same results and effect.
You want to tell us your name? You want to tell
Y'all come on in here.
I'm really hoping she's delirious, because otherwise she's even more rude than I originally gave her credit for back in part 1 of this season.
We'll keep this safe and sound. The doors are all locked. You'll be safe here. And we can treat that.
Is there any possible reason for her to act this fucking way? She went to find them, and now that she's found them, she's tried reaching for her sword right away, staring him out, and keeping silent when spoken to. My god, I truly forgot how much of an ass her character used to be.
I didn't ask for your help.
I didn't ask for your help, cliché. Carol is misunderstanding Rick's expression as though Laurie is still alive.
This is Maggie and Glenn. Why are we even debating?
We ain't. I'll go after him.
Well, this place sounds pretty secure. You can't go alone.
I'll go.
Yeah, I don't know about any of you guys out there, but if I was in that situation, the first person I'd want backing me up would most definitely be Beth.
I'll go.
Me too.
And of course, a close second would be Discount David Spade over there.
Remember my 3rd grade teacher, Mrs. Mueller?
Of course.
Her first name was Judith. Do you think that's a good name?
Yes. For a 75-year-old retired lunch lady.
Prison. One near Noonan?
The place is overrun.
We took it.
Or you could have said pretty much anywhere else that's a fair distance away in the opposite direction. Given that she's been kept as a prisoner for a little while, that's exactly where my mind would go straight away, as at least then that gives more time for you to be rescued.
How many are you?
10. I'm 10 now.
Also could have lied about that, and said like 60 or something, because then in that case he may doubt himself and try and strike some kind of a deal. It's always nice when the walkers that were previously walking very fast just a second ago slow down in order for the people to get away, and in this case actually must have stopped altogether, otherwise they'd have closed the distance to the now bits lady in like 2 seconds.
Come on!
There are no zombies in sight, and yet now he decides this is the best time for him to be the loudest since he entered the show. On top of that, he's shouting, "Come on!" when everyone is like right behind him. Or you could just use the chair leg from the last episode. She really is a bloody dope, isn't she? Not only does she not say a word and sneak off, but then comes back, again without saying a word, and almost gets shot in the process. Apparently, when they were fortifying Woodbury and making walls, they forgot that there was a house with a back door left unlocked that gave a way directly inside.
This is where you were held?
I was questioned.
Just say yes, because there's no difference between being held and being questioned in their eyes right there at that point in time.
Okay. Give me a gun!
My god, Maggie's all kinds of useless, isn't she? Once again she has the upper hand, and then in the middle of a fight she casually looks away from her target. All of those hundreds and hundreds of bullets flying for the past few minutes and only one person got shot.
I'm going.
I can't let you go down there.
My father would go.
Well, that certainly was a quick change of heart. Okay, so there's a couple of sins here. Firstly, that walker is acting incredibly calm, considering the only thing between them is a thin layer of cloth. Secondly, if she really believed that was a little girl, then you'd think the first thing she'd do is remove the hood and not the restraint around the back of her neck. This is so dumb. If she had the upper hand like this and her weapon nearby, then why not just take him out there and then, rather than doing this weird strangling thing? Yeah, don't bother to, explain anything about the hostages he kept and how badly beaten one of them was and so on and so forth. This woman is doing the hands cupped around mouth trick in order for her yelling to be 250% louder than usual.
I asked you where your loyalties lie. You said here. Well, prove it. Prove it to us all. Brother against brother.
Why would the people who've just been told by the governor that Mel led the terrorists to their town be content with him proving his loyalty by killing his brother? Because if the people believed that he led them there to attack Woodbury, then clearly his loyalty would be with those that attacked. It's a little bit contradictory. Once again, Rick said a magic word and a door opened right near the fighting ring, by which to allow direct access to the hostage. The best offense is slowly walking towards your enemy and trying to look menacing.
Let's go!
This zombie decides to ignore humans nearby and also the loud sounds of their guns and yelling just now, and randomly goes for a closed off part of the fence instead.
Oh yeah, man, he is a charmer, I gotta tell you that. Been putting the wood to your girlfriend Andrea big time, baby.
Because this will help his chances of survival.
You know Andrea?
Do you know Andrea?
Yep, she does.
And she once again decides not to answer him and remains silent for absolutely no fucking reason. And it's doing my head in so much now since episode 1 of this season that I'm going to add 5 sins. Did he really just come out of his apartment to do that and then go back inside?
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Despite having clearly seen Rick lose his mind at the end of the last episode, the group decision is that the guy who is seeing things gets to keep the keys and also go on watch with a big old gun. That's right guys, Rick is imagining being touched by his dead wife, and at this point in time I'm wishing the Ghostbusters come along and zap her annoying ass away once and for all. This guy's totally pretending he's one of those cool automated sentry guns from Aliens.
Where have you been?
Yay! We're back to the silent treatment. She missed. Silly.
Now go away. You got your answer. Now go away.
This is just like at the drugstore where she almost got bit and then came back to the farm ranting and raving and making little sense. Because they were fine during the escape and afterwards. Then when Rick got back and they were moving the debris from the road, Glenn lost his temper, but then that was it. Nothing has happened since then, and now they're acting like this. It's almost like a whole episode is missing. Where's he getting the wax for his mustache? Standing close enough to the edge to be pulled down like a f***ing moron, rather than taking 2 steps back and then being safe like a genius. Gets a headshot on his first shot and then misses every single one afterwards. Well, that seemed largely pointless. It just occurred to me that it was a bit of a stupid move to drop off all those walkers and then get out the vehicle and then run back through the now open gates, rather than just driving it back out the way they came in. Walker laid flat, Walker on its knees.
Once we entered Woodbury, you became hostile.
That's because I could see it.
See what?
That you were under his spell from the second you laid eyes on him.
I saw you were under his spell, and so naturally as your friend, I decided that the best thing to do was to walk around slowly, scowl, investigate, cause trouble, and also get aggressive with people.
You chose a warm bed over a friend.
Well, in fairness, it was a warm bed, food, water, hot water, shower, lots of friendly people, a doctor, medicine, and of course, above all, safety. But yeah, let's just concentrate on a warm bed.
Heads up! Hey, get down!
Tells these guys to get down, but then everyone else stays standing up. 2 minutes and 30 seconds of an additional attempt to help launch a singing career. And of course, this wouldn't be The Walking Dead without a vehicle flipped on its side. That moment when you ask for the cheapest deal at the car wash and they just end up making it more dirty.
Let's go.
Instead of driving the car onto the road after being dislodged, she drives it literally 1 foot further than it was and stops, which is exactly what got the car stuck in the first place, having stopped in the mud. How the hell has this dude managed to survive nearly a year in the zombie apocalypse being this dumb? So what, he used a fucking jackhammer to make that hole? Look at the thickness of that concrete. That place would be swimming with Walker corpses if it made that hole. There'd be so many corpses they'd never have been able to physically move them all away safely, since as we've seen there's not been one found anywhere nearby.
Have you taken a look around this place? The axe, the spikes, the walls?
You think he's crazy?
No. I think he's dangerous.
That's a terrible argument though. I mean, he's dangerous because he built spikes to trap walkers in and set a couple of traps to catch looters and bandits. The better argument that he's dangerous would be that he shot at them, but even then Rick was the first to shoot, so really her argument falls apart.
I'm going on a run.
Where?
I thought maybe the one thing people didn't loot was cribs.
I love it. They find the world's biggest weapon stash and Carl wants to go on a run so that he can secretly go look for a picture. That's what we call the world's worst escape attempt. But also it very much looks like we're back into Carl hits puberty and acts like a moron territory. Hooray!
Think I was gonna let you go in there?
I just think it's none of your business. You don't know me. You don't know my dad.
You don't know me, cliche.
I tried to go back in.
Where is it?
We have to go back. We have to. I have to.
All of this for a fucking picture. And another vehicle on its side. Well, that's what you get when you are noisy as fuck when you already know that walkers are drawn to you by sound. Having that there is all well and good, but when you consider that he entered the building from the opposite side to where he sat down, it becomes a 50-50 chance that Rick wouldn't have ended up sitting there instead.
He's already in there. Sat down with Rick.
Wouldn't he struggle to drive this car, even if it wasn't automatic, given that his right leg is no longer with him?
Andrea told me about your baby. That it might be your partner's.
What in the holy hell kind of reason would she possibly have had to have told him that? I don't even understand how Rick's life before arriving at the prison would ever be a talking point between her and him. It makes no sense without at least some kind of context.
You army or something? Nah, I just hate these things.
I don't think he was asking if he's ex-army because he's using a baseball bat and seems to enjoy killing the walkers. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say he's asking because he seems to know what he's doing and physically looks the part.
I just met you. At least buy me a drink first.
No, but seriously, buy me a fucking drink first. He's at it again, trying to turn a nasty situation into something sensual.
How's it going in there?
Did he somehow not notice that she's been outside now for like 15 minutes or something?
And how do you explain letting me get away?
I must have been seduced by your sterling personality.
Even saying it sarcastically seems horribly wrong.
I'm sorry.
Guys, you're supposed to be on fucking watch. Okay, so this is getting 10 cents for being one of the most stupid and selfish things they've done in all 3 seasons thus far. They know the situation that Rick and the others are in. They know that Merle was pretty intent on leaving just a moment ago, and most of all, they know that someone should be on fucking watch. But no, I suppose having a quickie is more important.
Glenn, Maggie. If she hadn't come here, we never would have known they were taken.
Yeah. But on the other hand, she's really annoying.
You still haven't told me. Where did you find them? How did you know them?
Apparently this is such a cliched and sensitive subject that she stops eating before staring off into nothingness and then stares at Andrea and then stares into space again and then finally at long last just shakes her head when asked, "Do you want to talk about it?" And the thing that gets me is that this is so unlike her.
They weren't human to begin with.
Right. So you do want to talk about it then? One time I was so excited about my evil plan that I jizz in my pants.
These guys are on edge. They've been attacked by that crazy-ass cowboy, some chick with a sword. Shit's going down and you're making waves.
How does he know that they are making waves? Considering all he knows is that they asked if they are going after Andrea and the guy said no. That's it. Other than that, they didn't kill Andrea when she wanted to leave, so it can hardly be considered making waves or causing trouble. Yet.
Yeah.
It was me. I saved her life. Right place, right time.
And from that moment, she was glued to you like a lost puppy.
Having a detailed conversation about something which didn't happen on the TV show and leaving me mighty confused.
Yo! I said 5. Let's go.
Yeah, and it's been just under 2 minutes, so f you and your 5 and learn to count, you idiot. So let me get this straight. She jogs into the open part of the woods and yet fails to see any of these 4 walkers just chilling out right nearby. Either she's pretty blind or the zombies have figured out some kind of teleportation shit. Heavily rooted trees that sway side to side when lightly brushed.
You're not sending my boy out there again. I look out for him.
Like you looked out for Donna?
What the hell, man? Either he was trying to make that altercation happen on purpose, or the writing is not really up to par. I mean, back at the camp mere moments ago, these two spoke, and he told him that he had no reason to feel jealous of him having saved his wife, and then he uses it against him here. I want to remain as quiet as humanly possible because A, I don't want the madman outside to hear me, and B, I don't want any walkers to hear and find me. So the best way to do that is not look at the ground and where I'm walking? Either he's incredibly lucky or he's got some kind of bloody tracker on her ass, because he found her firstly in the middle of a field and secondly now inside a building among many buildings. I guess another sin here is that he heard her knock something over when his vehicle couldn't be heard, and thus he wasn't overly close by, and he's inside of his car while she's inside of a building and his engine would be running loudly. So ultimately, this little game of cat and mouse is some bullshit that would never happen in real life. Bullshit. He would never have gotten that close to her in absolute silence. And now we're supposed to just assume that he managed to get her up off of the floor whilst keeping her entirely muted and that she was never powerful enough to physically do anything to get attention.
You heard about that, huh?
I hope you find out who did it.
I guess it couldn't have been all that difficult to find out who did it anyway. Find out who was on watch last night, ask who went out in the car, and boom, there's your culprit.
Merle!
Hey, little brother.
And he doesn't answer him because no f***ing reason.
What happened? With you and Glenn? And Maggie?
I've done worse.
You've done worse than try and put together a situation whereby a man you've badly eaten almost gets eaten alive? I highly doubt that somehow, as that's some pretty nasty shit to do to your fellow man. He does know that that's not like a mobile phone or radio, right?
And see the reward of the wicked.
Oh, f*** off! Even though this extremely loud car alarm has been going for some time, he still decides that the car is worth going through all of the trouble. On top of this, he doesn't once think to look outside of the car to see if any walkers are approaching. Here we see her slip off the restraints from her hands and fingers, but when she's outside of the car she suddenly has it back on her left hand. Worst knife attack in the history of knife attacks. Spitting an unusual amount whilst attacking. Silly teenage. Leave me alone, shrug.
No, this was before. He was asleep. I had a knife.
Pick up the pliers.
I'm still alive.
Yeah.
Pick up the pliers. She literally could have been fucking free by now if she didn't feel the need to have a casual chat in this situation. For this, I'm adding 5 sins. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the best way to invoke a non-verbal signal that you are coming in peace and that you want help. All you have to do is loudly bang on something nearby. And for some unknown reason, she couldn't just simply kick him backwards and then attack him. Nathan Burr, Bird Without a Word, Arias Alibari, Hayden White, PK Fan, Ali 50, Ryan Anderson, Isael Caldera, Chris Harris, Yona Shgal, Manolo Saucedo Munoz, Luis Hernandez, Kim Munt, Jason Davies, Yuki Ali, Manuel Morales, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Sentimento, Jaffa 6263, Amy San, Alfredo Jimenez, Silva, Master Tank, Boogie, Kevin Nauta, Stefia, Brendan Kriya, Storm 970, Mr. Waffle 64, Mongola Ninja, Kaj Warzone, Jordan Samuels, Sean Graves, The Epic Amanda, Crimson Shadows, Kyle Farmer, Buzzbomb 3000, Adora Blue, Yagai 7636, Mr. Berigino,